When you enter the land that God your God is giving you as an inheritance, you must take possession of it and settle in it. Of all the first fruits of the earth that you harvest from your land, the God your God has given you, you must take one specimen. You must place these fruits in a basket and go to the place to which God your God will choose to attach his name. You must approach the priest who will be in those days and say to him, I declare today to God your God that I have come to the land that God swore to our forefathers to give us. The priest will take the basket from your hands, place it before the altar of God your God. You must raise your voice, and you must say before God your God, an Aramaean sought to be the destroyer of my forefather. He went down to Egypt and sojourned there with his family, a small number of people, and he became a great, mighty, and populous nation there. The Egyptians treated us cruelly, afflicted us, and imposed hard labor upon us. So we cried out to God, God of our fathers, and God heard our voice and saw our affliction, our toil, and our oppression. And God took us out of Egypt with a mighty hand and with outstretched arm, with a great manifestation of his presence, and with signs and marvels, and he brought us to this place, and gave us this land, a land flowing with milk and and fig honey. And now, behold, I have brought the first of the fruit of the soil that you, God, have given me. You must then place the basket before God your God, and prostrate yourself before God your God. You will rejoice over all the good that God your God has granted you and your household, you the Levite and the convert who is among you. When you have finished taking all the tithes of your produce that grew in the 3rd year of the sabbatical cycle, the year of the first tithe, and you have given them to the Levite, the convert, the orphan, and the widow, each one enough so that they can eat to satiation in your cities, you must declare before God your God, I have removed from my house the holy produce, and have also given the first tithe to the Levite, and the tithe for the poor to the convert, and the orphan, and the widow, in accordance with all your commandments that you have commanded me. I have not transgressed any of your commandments, nor have I forgotten to thank you. I did not consume any of the second tithe while in my grief, nor did I consume any of it while I or it was ritually defiled. Neither did I use any of it for the dead. I have obeyed God my God. I have acted in accordance with all that you commanded me. Look down favorably from your holy dwelling, heaven, and bless your people Israel and the land that you have given to us, as you swore to our forefathers, a land flowing with milk and date and fig honey. Today, God your God is commanding you to fulfill these rules and ordinances. You will safeguard them by studying how to perform them, and perform them with all your heart and with all your soul. Today you have singled out God to be your God, to walk in his ways, to safeguard his rules, commandments, and ordinances, by studying how to perform them and to obey him. God has set you apart today to be his treasured people, just as he spoke concerning you, to have you safeguard all his commandments by studying how to perform them, to make you supreme above all the nations that he established, so that they will accord you praise, a distinguished name and glory, and for you to be a holy people devoted solely to God, your God, just as he spoke. Moses, together with the elders of Israel, commanded the people, saying, You must unceasingly safeguard all the commandments that I am commanding you this day, by studying how to perform them. On the day that you cross the Jordan River into the land that God, your God, is giving you, you must set up for yourself boulders. You must plaster them with lime and write upon them all the words of this Torah. When you cross, in order that you enter the land that God your God is giving you, a land flowing with milk and date and fig honey, as God your God of as God of your forefathers has spoken to you. After you have crossed the Jordan River, you must set up these boulders, regarding which I am commanding you this day, on Mount Ival. You must plaster them with lime. You will build there an altar to God your God, an altar constructed out of these boulders. You must not wield an iron tool upon them to cut them to size. You must build the altar of God your God out of whole boulders. You must offer up ascent offerings on it to God your God. You must slaughter animals as peace offerings, and you must eat your portions of them there. You must rejoice before God your God. You must write upon the boulders all the words of this Torah, translated very clearly. Moses and the Levitic priests spoke to all Israel, saying, Pay attention and listen, people of Israel. Today you have become a people bound to God your God. You must therefore obey God your God and fulfill his commandments and his rules concerning which I am commanding you today. Moses commanded the people on that day, saying, When you cross the Jordan River, the following tribes will stand on Mount Gerizim, and the priests and the Levites will face them in order to bless the people: Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, Joseph, and Benjamin. The following tribes will stand on Mount Ival, so the priests and Levites can turn and face them for the purpose of pronouncing the curse: Reuben, Gad, Asher, Zebulun, Dan, and Naphtali. The Levites will speak up, saying to every individual of Israel in a loud voice, Cursed be the man who makes any sculpted or molten image, which is an abomination to God, being the handiwork of a craftsman, and sets it up in secret. All the people will respond, saying, Amen. Cursed be he who disrespects his father and mother. All the people will say, Amen. Cursed be he who pushes back his neighbor's landmark. All the people will say, Amen. Cursed be he who figuratively misguides a blind person on the way. All the people will say, Amen. Cursed be he who perverts the judgment of the convert, the orphan, or the widow. All the people will say, Amen. Cursed be he who fornicates with his father's wife, thus figuratively uncovering the corner of his father's garment. All the people will say, Amen. Cursed be he who engages in carnal relations with any animal. All the people will say, Amen. Cursed be he who fornicates with his sister, whether she be the daughter of his father or of his mother. All the people will say, Amen. Cursed be he who fornicates with his mother-in-law, and all the people will say, Amen. Cursed be he who strikes his fellow in secret. All the people will say, Amen. Cursed be he who takes a bribe to put an innocent person to death. All the people will say, Amen. Cursed be he who does not uphold the words of this Torah by fulfilling them. All the people will say, Amen. If you obey God your God, being sure to safeguard and perform all his commandments that I am commanding you to perform today, God your God will place you supreme above all the nations of the earth. All the following blessings will pursue you and overtake you if you obey God your God. You will be blessed both in the city and in the field. Blessed will be your children, the fruit of your womb, your crops, the fruit of your soil, the fruit of your domestic animals, the offspring of your cattle, and the choice of your flocks. Blessed will be your food basket and your kneading bowl, just as you are blessed when you enter the world, being free of sin, so you will be similarly blessed when you depart the world. God will cause your enemies who rise up against you to be beaten by you. They will attack you from one direction, but then they will flee from you in 7 directions. God will command the blessing of success to accompany you in your granaries and in all your endeavors. He will bless you in the land that God your God is giving you. God will establish you as his holy people, as he swore to you, if you safeguard the commandments of God your God by studying how to perform them properly and walk in his ways. Then all the peoples of the earth will see that the name of God is associated only with you, and they will fear you. God will make you superior to them with regard to children, the fruit of your womb, with regard to your cattle, the fruit of your domestic animals, and with regard to your produce, the fruit of your soil, on the land that God swore to your forefathers to give you. God will open up his good treasury heaven for you in order to provide your land with its rain in its right time, and thereby bless everything you do. You will lend to many nations, but you will not need to borrow. God will place you at the head of the world as leaders and not at the tail as subordinates, and you will be only at the top in all senses and not at the bottom if you obey the commandments of God your God regarding which I am commanding you today, to safeguard them by studying how to perform them and to perform them. You must veer neither right nor left from all the matters about which I am commanding you today, by following other people's deities and worshiping them. If, on the other hand, you do not obey God your God, neglecting to safeguard his commandments by studying the Torah's instructions regarding how to properly perform all his commandments and rules that I am commanding you to perform today, all the following curses will pursue you and overtake you. You will be cursed both in the city and in the field. Cursed will be your food basket and your kneading bowl. Cursed will be your children, the fruit of your womb, your crops, the fruit of your soil, as well as the offspring of your cattle and the choice of your flocks. You will be cursed when you enter your home, and you will be cursed when you leave it. God will send shortages, pandemonium, and self-rebuke against you in all your endeavors that you undertake until you are destroyed and quickly vanish, because of the evil you did in forsaking me. God will infect you with a disease that will spread like an epidemic, and that will persist until it has eradicated you from the land that you are entering in order to possess. God will strike you with diseases accompanied by consumption and blisters, regular fever, high fever, and unquenchable thirst, with the sword of invading armies, with the crop-destroying east wind, and with drought, and they all will pursue you until you perish. Your skies above you will be like copper, and the earth below you will be like iron. God will turn the rain of your land into a cause of dust and mud. It will rain down upon you from the sky until you are destroyed for lack of food. God will cause you to be beaten by your enemy, and you will attack them from one direction, but you will flee from them in 7 directions. You, as an example, will become a source of terror for all the kingdoms on earth. Your corpse will be food for all the birds of the sky and the beasts of the earth, and no one will frighten them. God will strike you with the horrible boils of Egypt, with the hemorrhoids, with oozing boils, with dry boils, and with all of which you will be unable to be healed. God will strike you with insanity, blindness, and bewilderment. You will grope at the midday as the blind man gropes in the dark, and you will be unsuccessful in your undertakings. You will be nothing but constantly contested in whatever you do and robbed, and there will be no one who will rescue you. You will betroth a woman, but another man will fornicate with her. You will build a house, but you will not live in it. You will plant a vineyard, but you will not redeem its 4th-year fruits. Your work bowl will be slaughtered before your eyes, but you will not eat from it. Your donkey will be robbed from you right in front of you, and it will not be returned to you. Your flock will be given over to your enemies, and there will be no one who will rescue it from you. Your sons and your daughters will be given over to another people as your own eyes see it happen. You will long for them all day long, but it will be powerless to do anything about it. A people unknown to you will consume the fruit of your soil and the results of all your toil. You will be nothing but constantly contested in whatever you do and crushed. You will go insane from the vision that you will behold before your eyes. God will strike you on the knees and on the legs, and with a terrible skin eruption from which you will be unable to be healed. It will eventually cover you from the sole of your foot to the top of your head. God will lead you and your king, whom you will have appointed over yourself, to a nation unknown to you, or your fathers. There you will serve those who serve other people's deities of wood and stone. You will become an object of astonishment, an archetype of extraordinary misfortune, and a topic of discussion among all the peoples to whose lands God will lead you. You will take out a great deal of seed to sow in the field, yet you will gather in little produce, for the locust will finish it off. You will plant vineyards and work them, but you will neither drink their wine nor gather their grapes, for the worms will devour them. You will have olive trees throughout all your boundaries, but you will not anoint yourself with their oil, for your olive tree will drop all of its fruit before it ripens. You will bear sons and daughters, but they will not remain yours, for they will go into captivity. The locust will denude all your trees of their fruit, and all the fields of the fruit of your soil. The resident alien who lives among you will rise higher and higher in wealth and stature above you, while you descend lower and lower. He will lend to you, but you will not lend to him. He will be at the head, while you will be at the tail. All these curses will befall you, pursuing you and overtaking you until they destroy you, because you did not obey God your God, neglecting to safeguard his commandments and rules concerning which he commanded you, by studying how to perform them. These curses will serve as a sign and a marvel for you and your descendants forever, since you did not serve God your God with joy and heartfelt gladness when you had an abundance of everything. You will instead serve your enemies, whom God will send against you. When you are in hunger, thirst, nakedness, and lacking everything, your enemy will place an iron yoke upon your neck, working you until he has destroyed you. God will bring upon you a nation from afar, from the end of the earth, who will conquer you the way the griffin vulture swoops down upon its prey. It will be a nation whose language you will not understand, a brazen nation who neither respects the elderly nor shows favor to the young. They will devour your young domestic animals, the fruit of your domestic animals, and your produce, the fruit of your soil, until they destroy you throughout starvation. They will be a nation who will not leave you any grain, wine, oil, the offspring of your cattle, or the choice of your flocks, until they annihilate you through your starvation. They will besiege you in all your cities, until your high and fortified walls, in which you trust, are overcome. Throughout all your land, they will besiege you in all your cities of the land that God your God has given you. You will eat your children, the fruit of your womb, the flesh of your sons and daughters, whom God your God gave you on account of the siege and the oppression of the famine to which your enemies will subject you. The most tender and delicate man among you will begrudge his own brother the wife of his embrace, and the rest of his surviving children, of giving any of them any of the flesh of his children that he is eating, because nothing will remain for him. On account of the siege and the oppression of famine to which your enemies will subject you in all your cities, the most tender and delicate woman among you, who would not venture to set her foot upon the ground, out of delicateness and tenderness, will begrudge the husband of her embrace, her own grown son and grown daughter. The newborn infants who emerge from between her legs, and her own small children, whom she will bear, for out of destitution she will eat them in secret, on account of the siege and the oppression of the famine to which your enemies will subject you and your cities. If you do not safeguard God's commandments by studying how to fulfill all the words of this Torah, which are written in this scroll, therefore learning how to revere this glorious and awesome name, that of God your God, God will intensify the plagues that he will bring upon you and your children, your offspring, beyond other plagues, afflicting you with terrible unyielding plagues and unyielding sicknesses. He will bring back upon you all the diseases of Egypt that you dreaded when you were in Egypt, and they will cleave to you. In addition, God will bring upon you every disease and plague that is not written in the scroll of this Torah, in order to destroy you. You will remain few in number instead of being how you once were, as numerous as the stars of the heavens, because you did not obey God your God. Just as God rejoiced over you to do good for you and to make you numerous, so will God make your enemies rejoice over you as they proceed to annihilate you and destroy you, as you will be uprooted from the land that you are entering in order to possess. God will scatter you among all the nations from the one end of the earth to the other, and there you will serve those who serve other people's deities, which were unknown to you or your forefathers. Deities of wood and stone, you will find no respite among those nations, nor will your foot find any rest. There God will give you a frightened, trembling heart, dashed hopes, and a depressed soul. Your life will hang in suspense before you. You will be afraid night and day, and you will not believe in the reliability of your own life. You will say in the morning, if only it were last night, and you will say in the night, if only it were this morning, because of the fear in your heart that you will experience over the future, because of the sights that you will behold. God will bring you back to Egypt in slave ships via the path about which I said to you, you will never see it again. There you will offer yourselves for sale to your other enemies as slaves and bondwomen, but there will be no buyer. These are the words that constitute the covenant that God commanded Moses to make with the Israelites in Moab, in addition to the covenant of blessings and curses that he made with them at Mount Horeb. Moses summoned all Israel and said to them, You have seen before your very eyes all that God did in Egypt, to Pharaoh, to all his servants, and to his entire land. The great trials that you saw with your own eyes, and those great signs and marvels. Until this day, God did not give you a heart to know, eyes to see, and ears to hear, how I led you through the desert for 40 years, during which your garments did not wear out from being worn on you, nor did your shoes wear out from being worn on your feet. You neither ate bread nor drank new wine or old wine, in order that you would know that I am God your God. You came to this place, and King Sihon of Heshbon and King Og of Bashan came out toward us in battle, but we smote them. We took their land, and we gave it as an inheritance to the tribes of Reuben and Gad, and to half of the tribe of Manasseh. You must safeguard the words that I constitute this covenant by studying them diligently and fulfill them, in order that you succeed in all that you do.